Hello everybody, we are back here on The Hunter Call the Wild. Now, I had spent an hour recording this video for this brand new challenge that I've decided to start doing, and when I went to edit the video, well, it all sounds like this. Having to take our next diamond with iron sights or some kind of cool So yeah, as you could imagine, I can't have an entire video sounding like that, so I will have to just commentate over top of it like I am right now, which is really unfortunate because we had a lot of cool stuff happen during this 1 hour, and I was really excited to upload it. I really was excited to see what you guys thought of the series, and of course the first episode ends up getting completely destroyed just because of the bad audio, and I'm pretty sure the reason that it happened was because I updated OBS to the newest version, and I didn't check my mic or anything like that, so I feel like that's probably the reason that this happened. But in the next episode it'll be all fixed hopefully, but at least we still have some cool trophies to look at. So first off, let's go ahead and take a look at the first part of this brand new series. So basically, step one of this is going to be spinning the wheel to give us a random gun. And as you guys can see, we ended up getting the 10 gauge pump action shotgun, which is actually a very interesting one to get. And we basically have an hour to find a diamond in multiplayer, hence the title 60-minute diamond. So, as you can see, it starts the second I open up the game, and we just have to make the best of the hour that we have. And I think what we're going to end up doing is every week we will have a different multiplayer map, whether it be Silver Ridge Peaks as it was in this video, or Verhunga Savannah, or Medved Tiger, or any of the other maps. We're gonna do our best to make this series have a good variety of different maps, and man, I'm still just really disappointed that this first one got screwed up with the audio. It really was a lot of fun to make, but the first thing that we ended up coming across, as you can see, was an albino mountain lion, and because of the fact that this was not a diamond, I did just take it with a 7mm. I figured that's fine since it speeds up the process, and it's not the animal that we're after. It wasn't a diamond, so we didn't have to take it with the 10 gauge. And that is what I'm going to continue doing, I think, for the rest of the series. As long as it's not the diamond that we're after, then we don't have to use the gun that was selected, because that is going to save a little bit of time, and in a mode where we only have an hour to find ourselves a diamond, I want to make sure that we make the most out of every single minute. So that's the biggest reason why we're not going to be using the weapon that's chosen for stuff like rares, just because I feel like it's a waste of time, and we need to make the most out of our time, as I was saying. I also really want you guys to help me kind of like mold this series into the best that it can be. Do you guys think that rares should count in this series for future episodes? Because for this one I wasn't counting any rares that we found as being, I guess, like the target animal for the hour. So let me know if you guys think we should include them in the future episodes. I'm not sure if we should or not. I feel like it would make it a little bit too easy, but I'll leave that up to you guys. Also, do you guys think there's anything that we could do when it comes to, like, stakes-wise, I guess? So, let's say we don't end up getting a diamond within the hour that we're given. Maybe we'll have to shoot it with iron sights or purposely mess up a diamond, or something along the lines of that. I think some type of high-stakes thing to where there's actually a reason for us to do our best to try and get a diamond. I think adding something like that could be kind of cool, but you guys let me know what you think. And as you guys can see right now, at pretty much the halfway point, we ended up finding our second cool thing of the hour, and that was a piebald Rocky Mountain elk. Given it was a pretty small one, it's not really anything too special, and it definitely isn't anything that we were going to put in our lodge. But we did end up getting an angle on him right here and got a nice shot into him. And he went down pretty quickly. The 7mm has a good amount of power for being, I guess, the range of animals that you can take with it. And as you guys can also see right here, I did decide to shoot this turkey because it was a 9 to 11 weight estimate one, but I ended up accidentally shooting it with slugs, which obviously would not have given us full score even if it ended up being a diamond, which it was not, spoiler alert. It ended up just being a typical turkey that you'd find anywhere else. Which honestly isn't too big of a deal. I mean, a turkey as our first diamond would have been kind of a disappointment, honestly. So, I'm not really too mad that that guy didn't make it. But we did finally catch up to our piebald Rocky Mountain elk. He was just chilling underneath that tree. Just a silver one at 210, so not really anything too impressive. With these guys, I really don't taxidermize them unless they break 400, and I would eventually like to get a diamond one. I don't know how possible that's going to be. I think it's roughly the same odds as getting a dilute diamond mule deer, so I mean, there's still a chance that we could eventually get it. So the next thing that we ended up finding was an albino bighorn sheep, and we actually got one of these a few days ago, so it was pretty cool to see another one already. It's definitely not something that I expected to run across, considering it took months just to get our second one, which we, as I was saying, got a few days ago. So to get another one just a couple days later was pretty cool to see, and it was actually about the same size as that one too. So we ended up getting lined up on him right here. He was cooperating pretty well for the most part, gave us a perfect broadside angle, and we took the shot. And even though, once again, this guy is not a diamond and it's not anything that we're looking for, it's still pretty cool to get, and as you can see, it did break the previous best score that we had, or, well, I guess not the best score, but it broke the score of the one that we killed a few days ago, so it did end up being better than that one by a few points. It still isn't as big as our level 4, but it's definitely a good one. And I always love to get these albino bighorn, especially since, for the longest time, I thought they were extremely rare. But I'm starting to think that maybe they're not, since we've killed 3 of them within the last few days. So after we ended up killing that guy, we changed multiplayer servers because we weren't really finding anything good, and as you guys just saw, we got into the server of a level 7, which means this map had been virtually completely unhunted, especially in the northern and western parts of the map, so we did quite a bit of searching around here and found some pretty cool stuff. And the first cool thing that we found in this server was this little piebald mule deer doe that you guys are seeing right now. These seem to be relatively common from what I've seen. They're definitely the easiest to find rare for the mule deer. Piebald females seem way easier to find than the piebald males or any other female rare mule deer for that matter. So it is interesting to see that they're a little bit more common than others, but it's always nice to find them because they're still a rare and they're still not a super common thing to find. And as you can see, we smoked it pretty good, dropped it almost on the spot. It barely ran at all actually, which is always nice. That's one of the reasons I love using the 7mm. We didn't spend too much time looking at this because, as I've said many times before, when I'm in multiplayer, I don't really want to risk getting kicked, so I always claim the animal as fast as I can, and don't waste too much time, and with there being the added 60-minute countdown timer, trying to find a diamond within that amount of time, I didn't want to waste any of our precious minutes. And as you guys can see, this was the last place that we were able to go to, with just a few seconds left on the clock. It was pretty apparent that we weren't going to find a diamond for our first episode of this series, but just as I was about to leave the server, something pretty incredible happened, and what ended up happening was we had an albino mountain goat run out in front of us, and immediately I noticed this thing was glowing a lot more than any of the other mountain goats, and that was the first thing that caught my eye and made me decide to take this thing out. And sure enough, when I got over there, this thing ended up being an albino, and these are incredibly rare. I think just because of the fact that they're so hard to differentiate between them and the others, not too many people ever see these. And so I'm happy that we finally got one. It took a very, very long time. I've looked over easily thousands of mountain goats since the release of Silver Ridge Peaks and never seen an albino. So to get this was one of the coolest things that I've had happen as of recent. And it's definitely going to be one of my favorite trophies. Now all we need to do is find a male, and a melanistic, and we'll have pretty much all the mountain goats I could ever want. But anyway guys, before we hop into the trophy lodge to show everything off, if you guys have any ideas for this series that you would like to pitch towards me, feel free to do that in the comments below. I'm very interested in your guys' input on what we could potentially do with this series in the future, and hopefully next time my mic will be working correctly. But now that we have gone over all of that, we can finally check out everything in the lodge. Now, I'm still super sad that the recording got screwed up. It would have been really nice if I could have had the original audio over it, but unfortunately, things like this happen from time to time when you're recording, and this just happened to be one of the times that it happened. But we do have our albino mountain goat right up here, and it's looking really, really good right next to our white diamond that we got a while back with Kill Clinton. I do like the way that looks, and when you get them side by side, you can tell the difference a little bit better between the white ones and the albino ones. And I do really like that. I hope we can get a bigger one eventually, preferably one that's actually a male. But one other thing that I forgot to mention is if we manage to find a diamond before the timer expires, but we're not able to kill it, it does still count, because I got to thinking, and with stuff like the bows and the handguns and shotguns, getting close can be a pain, especially in multiplayer. So I think in order to combat that, that's what we're going to end up doing. If we can manage to get close well, not get close enough, but if we can manage to spot a diamond within that hour, we have infinite time to try and track it down, because the challenge is finding the diamond, and then I think after that we can have as much time as we want to try and take it down. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. But that right there is an albino bighorn sheep. This is the one that we took out during this video, and it's a pretty cool trophy. It did make it into our lodge just barely. I decided to take down one of the blacktail diamonds that we had in here so we could put this here instead, and I think I'm glad that I did. These are a little bit harder to find than the blacktail anyway. But anyway, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and end it there, because we don't really have anything else to show off. Well, actually, now that I mention it, I think we do have that albino somewhere. Actually, I don't think I managed to find a place for it, but we'll just look at this albino, because that's close enough. They all look the same anyway. So yeah, albino mountain lion. But yeah, guys, if you're brand new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, click the like button, and ring that notification bell so you guys will never miss a video. Also, be sure to comment down below, because I do try to respond to as many comments as I can. Give me some more ideas for this series, or some things that you think might need tweaked to make it a little bit better, and I will do my best to incorporate them into episode number 2. But once again, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace!